Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you well from wherever you're watching this channel. It is not a secret anymore. In fact, there's no need for investigations anymore, as communicated by Murkomen. Murkomen stated that the government is going to investigate the issue in Mandera County. But after listening to a video I'm going to share, you realize that there is no need for any investigation because the Jubaland forces have themselves confirmed that they are working with the regime.
Kenya dawladda state Jubaland weeyaan Soomaaliya tunasimama kati ya boda Kenya na Soomaaliya marka ka daraawishta Jubaland state Jubaland ciidanka nabadsuuda dalka Kenya waa shaqeyn iyo xirfad ma naga dhaxaya askari wa Jubaland military wana kati ya Kenya wanafanya kazi pamoja.
By the way, personally, any plan to stop Al-Shabaab invasion into the country is a welcomed move. For those of you who remember the Dusit to attack, you will agree with me that any plan the government launches to try to stop any kind of terrorism activity in the country should be a welcomed plan. But why is Murkomen saying that he has to confirm whether it's true? And the Jubaland forces have already shared a statement, and this is what they said. But first and foremost, before I take you through the video, kindly take this opportunity, like this video, subscribe to our channel if you are not subscribed before, and to our existing subscribers, I want to continue thanking you so much, because without you, this channel cannot grow. So thank you so much. So without wasting much time, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into this video.
Kenya dawladda state Jubaland weeyaan Soomaaliya tunasimama kati ya boda Kenya na Soomaaliya marka gudwada ku wanaageliyo ereydana joognaan geliyo hapo ni amani, tunafanya amani pamoja. Wax dhibaato kama jirto, hakuna shida yoyote. Xagga isku xidhnaanshaha waa shaqeynta ciidamada dariska katika wenzetu wadogo zetu tunafanya kazi pamoja. Ciidanka daraawishta Jubaland state Jubaland ciidanka nabadsuuda dalka Kenya waa shaqeyn iyo xirfad ma naga dhaxaya askari wa Jubaland military wana kati ya Kenya wanafanya kazi pamoja. wada shaqeyn fiican baa naga dhaxaysa. Kazi ni tunafanya mzuri sana, hakuna shida yoyote. Informationida cadowna xogweersi baa naga dhaxaya. Pia information tunakatikana, tuko na enemy moja. Dawladda si fiican soo shaqeynaa, isku xidhan baan nahay. Tuko unity, tunafanya kazi pamoja. Informationida xogaha cadowga markaan helana anagoo iskaashan inaan ku wada duulo ma taqaanay aan operation ka fulina. Tukipata information ya adui wote tunaenda pamoja na tunapatia support. Ciidanka dariska nala si fiican nala shaqeeyaa. Jirani wetu wa Kenya wanafanya kazi na pamoja na sisi vizuri. Xogahana waan kala qaadanaa soo weersanaa na tunachukua vizuri information ya adui. Gebihan deegaanku waa nabadgelyo na hapo ni amani, hakuna shida yoyote. Wax dhibaato kama jirto, hakuna shida yoyote. xogaha cadowga iskaashan kale waa iskaashan markaan xogahooda lama taan iskaashan oo patrol ku fulina. Tukipata information ya adui ni vile vile pia tunaenda kuchukua hatua hapo. Waxaan rajeynayaa haddana iska soo rajeynayaa natarajia tutafanya vizuri kushinda vile sasa tuko. Aad baad mahadsantahay na tunashukuru.
Now, there's nothing as good as hearing from the horse's mouth. The Jubaland forces themselves have confirmed that there's no harm in Mandera. They don't intend to wreak any havoc in Mandera, and in fact, they are working with the KDF. I mean, is this a confirmation that what Kawanjiku said in the previous video I shared, because the Kawanjiku, the member of parliament, maintained that if the government is mum over this matter, if the CS defense is not talking about it, if the CDF is quiet, and if the president is not saying a thing, then it can only lead to one thing, that they are aware of this formation. Now, someone was talking about 2012, because based on the history, it's as if that is the time these Jubaland forces were formed. That time, when there was a lot of attack in Kenya. So the government back then, under Mwai Kibaki, could have formed a team to try to deal with the Al-Shabaab, to create a buffer zone. And I explained about the buffer zone in the previous video, where I shared about the blackmailing story, that the Jubaland forces are blackmailing the KDF, that if they are disbanded or if they are forced out of the country, Al-Shabaab is going to invade. So the video that I shared, ladies and gentlemen, has confirmed so many things which you didn't know, which I also personally didn't know. And many of you didn't know about that fact. But it has confirmed a lot of intelligence being shared between our loyal KDF forces and these Jubaland forces, that they are working as a team. It has confirmed that they are working as a team, and the objective is to fight the enemy. And the enemy here is Al-Shabaab. But of course, we also have a story that the Jubaland forces are fighting with the Somalia forces. You know how Somalia is organized into states. So hii Jubaland ndio hao forces wanatoka huko, na their main objective ni kuzuia Al-Shabaab kufika Kenya. So maybe the government could be financing them because of that reason. I now tend to agree with the reason why the president of Somalia didn't want to give Raila Amolo Odinga direct support on the issue of AU chair. I now start to look to see sense in why they decided not to support Kenya, despite the fact that they are under East Africa. I now agree, or rather now discover why, at one particular time, the president of the Federal Republic of Somalia, at one particular time, complained that Kenya is meddling in its security. I now understand why at one particular time, when there was when Kenya forces had gone to Somalia, waliona kama wanakuwa interfered now, because their security was still weak. They could not match up with the security of Kenya. So, but Kenya could have been clever enough to look at this matter, because assume saizi ingekuwa ni Kenya ndo aliingia kule kupigana wale watu, alafu Jubaland forces hawakuwa, ingekuwa sasa ni Kenya na Somali forces wanapigana. Because if at all it is true that Jubaland forces is fighting with the Somalia forces, na Jubaland forces have confirmed that wako na serikali hii yetu, wako na hii wanajeshi wetu, wana share intel on the enemy, then you can as well say that Kenya inapigana na Somalia. Ama utasemaje hiyo? Sisemi kwamba Kenya inapigana na Somalia. Kenya is a very peaceful state. Our soldiers very peaceful and well experienced. But changamoto hapa ni hii militia. Hapa kwa militia hapa ndio kuna changamoto. Lakini wacha tuombeane ukweli, hii militia sio Ruto alicreate. Hapo sasa tuombeane tu ukweli, because hizi story nafaa tuseme tu vitu za ukweli. Sio Ruto alicreate, lakini Ruto ameipata na maybe anaitumia pia. Lakini sio yeye, hata sio Uhuru aliyecreate. Hii ni serikali iliyokuwa wakati wa Kibaki ndio ili create hii mambo ya Jubaland. Na Uhuru akaipata, na Ruto ameipata. Maybe mwingine ama ataingia 2027 ama 2032 ataipata. Hata kama Kalonzo atakuwa president ataipata. Ikiwa Matenga atakuwa president pia ataipata. Ikiwa Rigathi atakuwa president pia ataipata. Kama ni Babu Owino, Sifuna, whoever atakuwa president wataipata hii. So maybe they can come up with another decision to disband it completely, to advise them to cease operations in the country and go back to their country. Maybe that's what can happen, ladies and gentlemen. So perhaps if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you once again for choosing YOLENO TV as your favorite political channel.